Seaside Highland Games 2015. I'm Diane Ippel, and I'll be playing music for you for about the next half hour. I originally come from Illinois. My heritage ethnically is English, Irish, and Scottish, sort of mixed up. So I'll be playing different things from what we call Celtic musical culture, singing things. And so I moved to California about 5 years ago and started all over again out here with the hammer dulcimer. So I'm going to turn my instrument around for a second so you can see what it looks like before I start playing. So now the hammer dulcimer actually originated in the area of Persia, which is present-day Iran, and about 2,000 years ago. And it was carried via the trade routes from that part of the world east into China and Japan. I've recently learned that it went through Greece up into Russia. It also traveled north up into Europe and eventually came to the United States with the European settlers. So I'm going to open my set by playing an English Morris dancing tune called Winster Gallop. Thank you. My second tune in this concert is one that is familiar to many people as a Christmas carol. We know it as What Child Is This? But it also was written by King Henry VIII, so it's much, much older. And it's Greensleeves. Thank you. One of the things that you don't hear very much these days is unaccompanied singing, but back in olden times, unaccompanied singing was very common, and it was a way that stories and history got passed forward. So this song is one that I actually learned from the singing of David Morris. He's from Charleston, West Virginia. There are a couple of verses in here that have clouds in them that have a little bit different melody. I found them in a different version of this song, and I thought they complemented the story. So it's called The House Carpenter. It's actually a version of a very old song genre called The Demon Lover, where you don't really know if the person who came back was actually the lover or the devil in disguise. Well met, my own little love. Well met, cried he. Oh, I have returned from the salt, salt sea, and it's all for the love of thee. Oh, I could have married a king's daughter dear. I'm sure she'd married me, but I have come home from the salt, salt sea, and it's all for the love of thee. Well, if you could have married a king's daughter dear, you should have gone ahead, for I am married to the house carpenter, and I'm sure he's a nice young man. Oh, will you forsake your house carpenter and come along with me? I'll take you where the grass grows green on the bank of the deep blue sea. Oh, what have you got to maintain me on, to keep me walking free? Oh, I've got 7 ships all on dry land, and 7 more a-sailing on the sea. Well, she's picked up her wee little babe, and kisses give it 3, saying, stay at home with your pappy dear, and keep him company. Well, they had not been on that ship 2 weeks, I'm sure it was not 3, till she started to cry and to weep and to mourn. Oh, she wept most bitterly. Oh, are you weeping for silver or gold? Or are you weeping for store? Or are you weeping for your house carpenter that you're never gonna see no more? No, I am not weeping for silver or gold. I am not weeping for store, but I am a-weeping for my wee little babe that I'm never gonna see no more. Well, they had not been on that ship 3 weeks, I'm sure it was not 4, till that ship sprung a leak and it sunk in the deep. Lord, it sunk for to rise no more. Oh, do you see that white cloud horizon, as white as any snow? It hides a place that's called Glory Land, where you and I won't go. Oh, do you see that black cloud horizon, as black as any crow? It hides a place that's called torment, where you and I must go. Well met, my own little love. Well met, cried he. Oh, I am a drowning in the salt, salt sea, and it's all for the love of thee. I have a surprise for you and for me. Not really a surprise for me, but this is a tune I wrote way back in the beginning of my dulcimer playing history, and has stayed in the closet for all these years, and I'm finally bringing it out. It's actually a jig called Blackwell. I was performing at King Richard's Fair in Wisconsin at the time I wrote this tune, and it actually sounds Scottish. And I was thinking today that this is Scottish by genes. So this next melody is one I learned from the playing of Rob Williams from Dorset, Somerset, England. It's called Woodland Flowers. I have another a cappella vocal for you. This one is called She Moves Through the Fair, and many people have heard this song on the Riverdance recordings and seen it on television. That was my source originally for this. My niece was getting married, and she and her husband asked me if I would sing it for their wedding. And with the words that it has in that recording, it fits for a wedding. But I performed it one day at a concert where Jerry Armstrong was also in the same event with me. She's a very accomplished, she and her family, George and Jerry Armstrong, they're both passed away now. But Jerry shared with me that in the last verse, it's not a living person who comes back. It's actually the spirit of the lover that comes back. So the whole rest of the song, all of a sudden it made perfect sense because it's a night visiting song. There's a whole genre of songs where ghosts come back and stuff. So actually She Moves Through the Fair is a night visiting song. So my young love said to me, my mother won't mind, and my father won't slight you for your lack of kind. And she stepped away from me, and this she did say, it will not be long, love, till our wedding day. She stepped away from me, and as she moved through the fair, and fondly I watched her move here and move there, and then she went onward with one star awake, as the swan in the evening moved over the lake. Last night she came to me, my dead love came in. So softly she came that her feet made no din, and she laid her hand on me, and this she did say, it will not be long, love, till our wedding day. Well, I'm going to throw something in my set that's not Celtic, just because it feels like I'd like to do that. My background, most of my exploration has been in both Celtic and in old-time music. So I'd like to play an old-time tune for you. This one's called Julianne Johnson, and originally it comes from like the western side of Illinois, and it sort of spreads out from there and around. So this is an American dancing tune, and just so you sort of hear a little bit similar rhythms in that to the Celtic music. So this next tune is actually a Scottish tune that was written by Neil Gow. It's called The Hawthorn Tree of Cotter, And it's the only air that I play in my repertoire. And air is this form of music where most music has the measures are regular lengths of time, but in an air, the measures change lengths in time. So some are longer and shorter than others. So when you hear those little pauses or little hiccups, they're supposed to be there. There we go. Let's see. Parsons Farewell. All right. Let's see. Okay. I have a little more time than I thought I would have, so in my set, I'm going to add in a piece from one of the Playford tunes. It's John Playford was writing music in 1640 something. So it has a different character than the other music. So this is called Parsons Farewell. Thank you. Well, I hope that you have a wonderful day today. It's not quite as hot as it was yesterday, but do stay cool as you can, and make sure you stay hydrated so we don't have anybody going out here in an ambulance. So I'm going to close the set by singing a song called Fiddle Strings. It's a little sort of like a metaphor for life, that if you wait to do things, sometimes you don't get enough time to do those things that you really want to do before you aren't here anymore with us on this earth. So I lost a very, very dear friend of mine in December of this past year. So I'd like to dedicate this song to Chester Novak. If the fiddle strings felt no bow strokes, if the concertina bellows broke, if no one sang or cracked a joke, then where's the good in living? And all of life plays like a tune. It sounds so sweet, but ends too soon. You'd better rosin up your bow before it's time to go. If no one threw their feet about, if the Guinness boys stopped making stout, you'd soon forget what life is all about, and soon become quite thirsty. And all of life plays like a tune. It sounds so sweet, but ends too soon. You'd better rosin up your bow before it's time to go. When all you've owned is hogged or pawned, when all your money's spent and gone, you'll find what you've been living on and never even knew. And all of life plays like a tune. It sounds so sweet, but ends too soon. You'd better rosin up your bow before it's time to go. Thank you very much. I would like to also mention, I forgot to do this yesterday, I do have some instrumental CDs for sale if you're interested. They're $15 each, and it has some Celtic music, some English, some Irish on it. And there are a couple of other wonderful musicians on there with me. So thank you so much for your attention and sharing this time with me. Have a wonderful day, and maybe we'll cross our paths later on. Take care.